Good evening, class. This is Professor Carlos Layavin, and the reason for this video tutorial is to teach you how to create different size documents for the web. As you might have gathered by now, it is our responsibility to not only design for computers such as laptops and desktops, but also for other mobile devices used to access the web, including cell phones and even tablets. Now, to create that and to go, how do we go about it? It's using Photoshop. We're going to go ahead and click on File, New. Once we do that, I'm going to name this our first mockup. Okay. Oops. Pardon my misspelling. Select also web, because this is going to give me a whole bunch of different sizes that I'm going to be dependent on going forward, including 1024 by 768, 1152 by 864, and so on. I want to make a stop here and explain something real quick here. As web designers, when you start working on a design or a mock-up, it's very important that you assume that the user, the end user, is going to have a different size resolution, usually bigger than what you think. Bigger size resolution monitor with which he or she is going to want to look at your web designs. So it's always good to keep that in mind. And for that reason, I tend to, instead of using the standard 1024 by 768 for web browsers, I usually design or create my documents a little bigger, and sometimes I go up to 1920. But I'm going to start here with the 1366 as usual, and the 1029 pixels. The 72 resolution is going to stay the same. As you can see, the color mode is going to be RGB color 8-bit, and background content is going to be, in this case, I'm going to select background color. And here's the reason why. Now, the background content of your document is going to be dependent on right here. This two little guys right here. The foreground color, as you can see, it's black, and the white being the background color. So in this case, once I click OK, this document is going to have a white background. Now, before we do the final OK here, we're going to have to save this preset. And why do we do that? Well, just to make it easier to access it. Next time we have to create another mockup, we don't need to establish the dimensions. We already have them there. And we do so by saving the preset. This preset has to be saved under a different name. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and call it Web Design. All right. And as you can see, we have 6 little boxes that need to be checked, all of which need to be checked, and make sure they're all checked. Click OK, and there you have it, guys. So once you click down right here, you see the preset already saved as a web design. And once you click the final OK, you'll have the document with which you'll be working on to create your first mockup. All right, that is how you do it. Now remember, it could be 1024 by 768, or it could be 1366 by 1029, just like mine, or 1920. The sizes are the sizes per se, as far as the actual website, do not matter, because once we transfer our mockup into Dreamweaver, you'll know and you'll see that the more we add to it, the bigger the workstation becomes. But we'll touch on that on a different video. As far as working with web Photoshop and your mockups, this is a standard size. I'm going to use the 1366. Feel free to use whichever size you feel the most comfortable with. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use 1366, and that is the first down. Now, in terms of mobile devices, and again, I'm talking about tablets as well as iPhones and so on and so forth. There are different preset sizes that we need to work on or adjust, and the way we go about it is the same as we did our first document here on screen. We'll go by File, New, Custom to select the mobile devices, and once you do that, click on the sizes, and you'll see the many different sizes that you have to play with. But as you can see, they don't give us a name. It only gives us the sizes. And for today's, if we were to consider the Retina displays and so on for the iPhones as well as the Galaxy and other devices, we need to know exactly what sizes we need to we're going to be working with as far as designing for those devices, right? For the iPhone, I'm going to go ahead and call this one Mobile. All right. Once I do mobile, again, I'm going to, for the iPhones, it's just make sure you do your research online and whatnot, and try to find out what the resolution sizes for a web display on each device is, and come back to Photoshop and save those sizes. Specifically for those you're going to be working with the most, okay? If you already know them, just go ahead and type them. For me, I'm going to focus on a 750 by 1334. That's the one for the iPhone. That's the correct size for the iPhone and iPhone 6. If you were to work with, let's say, iPhone 6 Plus, that would be 1242 by 1334, or I'm sorry, 1242. In this case, if I was to work, let me just type it right here. If I was to work with the iPhone 6 Plus, it would be like this: 1242 by 22. 8. Those will be the sizes. Or you can also go with 1080 by 1920, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to leave it as 750 and 1334. Before we do that, we need to save this preset with the correct number. iPhone 6. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Click OK once again, and you see, guys, that is the correct size for your mockup as far as the iPhone 6 is concerned. And you just go ahead and do the same for either the tablet, Kindle, etc. You just make sure you find all the correct sizes. Remember, today we're talking about the Retina display, so it tends to make the size require a bigger or a larger size for the displays. But you do your research and make sure you have the correct dimensions, and just go ahead and input them in here in Photoshop. All right. So that's all for this video tutorial. We're going to be working with the regular size, as well as for the web browser, as well as the iPhone 6. I might change this to the Galaxy. I'm not too sure right now, but later on I might change it to the Galaxy. That's my favorite one. It's just personal preference. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I guess I'll see you on the next.